So let's go ahead and get started. So today, all we're going to be really doing is some introductions. So I'll start out introducing myself, and then I'd like to kind of go around the room and have you all introduce yourselves. And I'd like you all to, speak to, who you are, where you're from, um, what made you interested in this course and what you hope to get out of the course itself. Then I'll quickly go over the syllabus, and I'll also show you what's expected for the first assignment. Basically, for the first assignment, we'll need everyone to ensure that they have, or to verify that they have, Python and PyCharm both installed, and I'll walk you through what that'll look like. Yeah, cool. So as for me, I'll start out with my introduction. So my name's David Shaka. I'll be your instructor for this PPiAI coding course. And I live in Colorado, USA, in a suburb of Denver called Aurora. I live here with, I own a home here with my partner, Zofia, and yeah, I've lived here for I've been in Denver for about like 8 years now, but I was born and raised in Colorado. I grew up in a small town in more central Colorado, closer to Colorado Springs. And after doing all that, I went to college at Regis University in Denver, and I started out getting my bachelor degrees in neuroscience and psychology. But once I got to the work, I realized I really didn't like working in that field. I like the theory, not necessarily the actual work. And at that time, I had taken an intro to programming course and realized I loved coding. So I switched my career path into one around computer science, and I got my bachelor's degree in computer science from Regis University. And then immediately after that, I started getting my master's degree in data science from Regis University. And while I was getting my master's degree in data science, I started out, I entered the workforce, and I started working for a company called Comcast. Comcast is a big telecommunications company here in the US. And they own a number of other companies, even around like Europe and other, national companies. If you've ever heard of Sky, that's owned by Comcast, and it's a similar telecommunications company, just in Europe. I worked at Comcast for about 3 years. I was on their cloud data lake and compute team, which basically meant that I helped to build out their enterprise data lake and data compute platforms for the rest of the company. And that role, I was basically a half a platform engineer and half a data engineer. So on the platform engineering side, I would build out APIs and backend infrastructure for supporting the data lake. And then on the data engineering side, I would build out ETLs, which stands for extract, transform, load, and other processes for moving data from A to B and extracting some value from that data, so that our data scientists and business intelligence analysts and things like that could use that data for informing the business on making the decisions they needed to. So I was there for 3 years, and somewhat recently, about 3 months ago, I transitioned to working for an education technology company called GoGuardian, based out of California. And at GoGuardian, I am just a pure data engineer. I don't do any platform engineering really there, but basically what that involves is building data pipelines and ETLs using tools like AWS and Airflow, and AWS Glue and AWS Batch and things like that. So the language I'm most comfortable with is Python. I do know a couple other languages like JavaScript, a little bit of Java, and things like that. But the one I'm definitely most comfortable with is Python, and that's what we're going to be going over in this course. We're going to be learning Python. Python is one of the most popular and quickly growing languages in the world right now. It's relatively easy to learn compared to other languages, but take that with a grain of salt. Learning to code, if you have no background in coding whatsoever, is a very steep learning curve, and I want that to be extremely clear from the get-go. This will be a very challenging course. If you don't have any background in programming, you're going to struggle, and I want you to expect that. And with that, I want you to make sure that you're asking questions. don't hesitate to ask me any question whatsoever. No such thing as a stupid question. If you have a question, chances are somebody else has that same question. They just don't want to ask it. And if you don't ask questions, then you're not really gonna be able to learn or clarify things that are confusing to you. So please do ask questions. They help myself in terms of being able to understand, how I can better communicate topics that I'm trying to communicate to everybody. And they help you because they help clarify anything that you might be confused on, and they help the others in the course as well, because they probably have the same question. They just are feeling shy about asking it. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions throughout the course. Cool. Yeah, so that's really about it for me and the course. We'll go over the syllabus and what's expected for the first assignment in a bit. But for now, I'd like to, go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves, like name, where you're from, and why you chose to participate in this course, and what you hope to get out of the course. And if you can throw in there whether or not you have any experience with programming, that'd be great as well. Cool. So would anybody like to go first? Otherwise, I can just start going down the, I'll just go down the guest list. That might be easier to make sure we get everybody. How about, and apologies in advance if I am mispronouncing any names. So how about Abdullah? You come off mute and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Abdullah Hassan from Ghana. I'm a chartered accountant in that profession with UI Ghana. And my expectation from this program is to, the work environment is changing and IT has been dominating since. So I see this program an opportunity to learn coding and embedded it is into my working experience. And for now, I don't have any experience in coding, so I'll take this course and opportunity to learn coding.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for the introduction, Abdullah. Welcome to the course. Yeah, no problem at all. Not having any experience with coding. That's what this course is for. It's really meant for people who don't have any experience with it. Just another reminder, very steep learning curve. So please expect some challenges and struggles throughout the course. But great. All right. Let's see who's next. Let's
It's
go
me,
with,
Ahmed.
yeah, go ahead, Ahmed.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you all, and good day to you, Mr. David, over there. I really appreciate this gesture, and I'm highly elated. Having you being our tutor, with the wide experience you've had in this area. Nevertheless, my name is Hamid Akinsanya. I'm from Nigeria, and I have zero knowledge, zero experience about coding. I know nothing about coding. I know no jack about coding, and I'm welcome, and I'm open for learning. I want to learn everything about coding, and I'm very sure that a journey of 1,000 miles must surely start with a step.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to hear that you're very much looking forward to the course and looking forward to having you part of it. Thanks for the introduction, Ahmed. All right, so let's see. It looks like Ajibola. Looks like you've come off mute. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. David. Greetings to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, like Ahmed said before. So my name is Ajibola Kolaole. I'm from Nigeria. So I appreciate the presence to be part of the people that have been selected. So like I said, I don't know anything about Python before, but since about 3 to 5 years, I have the passion to have something doing with IT, especially coding. So I believe with passion that I have for it, and then with your help and other of my co-students, it will be easier for us to gain something from it. So I appreciate you Thank you for the opportunity once again, and thanks to everyone that is there.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Ajibola. Glad to have you as part of the course. Awesome. So let's try Abdul, and apologies again if I'm mispronouncing anything, but if you can come off mute and go ahead and introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Good day, sir.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Good day, sir. I'm very happy to be part of this this course. I really appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity. And my name is Abdul. I'm from Nigeria. So this coding of stuff, I have passion for it since my primary school education. So when I got to my secondary school, so I have a lot of people told me a lot about coding and the likes. So I've built passion for it since my primary school education. And as far as the experience on coding is concerned, I have a little experience on this. I've learned a little about Java some times ago, and HTML, CSS, and the likes. So I've just a basic experience about them. So that's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the introduction. Great. Let's just keep moving down the list. We keep having people join, so we have a lot that we need to get through. So let's see who is next. We've got Ayodeji. Can you come off mute and introduce yourself?
Yeah, good evening, David.
Good evening.
Good day, everyone. So I'm Ayodeji Stephen Adekombi from Nigeria. I look forward to learning a lot from this course. I've been so much interested in getting into the tech space. Tried my hands on data analysis here and there, but I've not been able to get a hold of coding, and I believe I trust that the training would help me to be able to do that, and also do many other things as time progresses. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, hopefully this course will be invaluable to learning those exact skills that you're hoping to acquire and helping you in future career opportunities and things like that. All right, so it looks like Fidelis, it looks like you've already come off mute. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, good day, everyone. My name is Fidelis Obani. I am a Nigerian, and I live in the capital city of Abuja, in Nigeria. So I'm a graduate of economics and currently undergoing my master's degree in economics. So I'm currently working with a Center for the Study of Economics of Africa as a data monitoring and observation officer. So basically, I've been using Excel so far, but I want to up-level my skill so as to be more efficient. So that's why I'm joining this group to learn better and have a more experience in coding and data analysis and analytics. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Programming is, that's one of the things that helped me a lot when I was when I was in, like, originally learning how to or when I was originally doing that neuroscience and psychology work. I realized that I was able to automate some of the mundane tasks using some of the coding knowledge I had obtained through my intro to programming course. And that's what I realized. That's how I realized I liked that way more than the work I was doing in neuro and psych. So yeah, absolutely. It'll be a great way to better optimize the work that you're already doing. Cool. So it looks like we've got Zahra. Zahradeen, you've already come off mute. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Zahra Mustafa. I'm a graduate of economics and currently doing my MSc. I'm an academician and a researcher. I teach statistics and econometrics, basic knowledge on economics data tools like Stata, eViews, R, and S. So I don't have any basic knowledge on programming. So I want to learn because I want to specialize in financial econometrics. So the basic knowledge I'm going to get here, I think I will be able to program the data relating to financial analysis. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Once again, thank you, Mr. David.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, absolutely agree. I think you know, in economics and data modeling, that's one of the big fields these days with anything that people often work in when they have a computer science background. So yeah, I think that's a perfect goal to have at the end of this course. Thanks for the introduction. All right, so it looks like Justice, looks like you've already come off mute. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, David. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Justice, as mentioned, and I've got a background in food science up to a master's degree. I'm based in South Africa, Johannesburg, although I'm from Zimbabwe originally. And I'd like to learn coding because I believe it's a skill that is on high demand. And in addition to that, is that there's a lot of technologies that are trickling into most of the industries, and food science is one of them. And I like to use these coding skills to keep up with what is happening. Yeah, that's basically that for me.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the great things about computer science and coding, right? Is it kind of touches any field. So that's one of the reasons I picked it. Is I felt pigeonholed in neuroscience and psychology, but when you learn how to code, whatever industry you're in, there's generally some sort of application where you can use some computer science or coding knowledge. So that's awesome. Very, very interested to see how you can apply what you learn here to your food science work. Thanks for the introduction, Justice. All right, so let's just keep going down the list since I don't see anyone who came off mute already. Aziz, you want to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
I'm from Nigeria. I'm Yusuf Aziz, a researcher and a lecturer from Federal University of Abeokuta. And I've been looking for a way to upgrade my knowledge about data analysis, and I will learn to develop some software as well, maybe some application that is needed in research, like doing research and everything. So that's why I try to join this coding and scholarship and everything. So just like upgrading my skills and having a wider scope of opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah, great to meet you, Aziz. Yeah, definitely agree. Great way to broaden your horizons is to learn how to code. Yeah, thanks so much for the introduction.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right, so let's see. Darayo Jimba, you want to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Sorry, where I am is kind of a bit noisy, but my name is Dario Jimba Andrew. I'm a graduate of business management. I have a basic knowledge on Python.
Awesome. So you already have some knowledge in Python?
Yeah, yes, I do have a basic. That's basically the basic knowledge of Python. The loop, the function, the variables. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so hopefully this course will be a little easier for you than others. And you know, if you can help to answer questions for other people at all, that would help me out a lot. But yeah, because we'll be covering a lot of those a lot of the basics as well. So hopefully it'll be a good refresher for you.
Yes, actually, I'll try my best to keep up.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction.
Oh.
All right, let's see. Next, it looks like we have Bongo Kufiwe. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with pronunciation here. You want to go ahead and come off mute and introduce yourself, Bongo? I know I've seen you join and drop a few times, so maybe it might be better if you can...
Sorry, David, did you say?
Yeah.
Did you say me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I think I missed that.
Yeah. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Thanks. Hi.
Oh, all right, cool. My name I'm great. My network is acting up a bit today,
Oh, no
but all
problem.
right. My name is PPiAI Nyembe. I am from South Africa. So it's great to meet you all. It's actually quite fun to actually see everybody here. I have a little bit of experience with coding from second year. We did Visual Basic, and yeah, for like a term or so. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yep, that's great to hear that you have a little bit of Visual Basic background. I don't know any Visual Basic myself and how it relates to Python, but I'm sure that that knowledge that you have will help to translate a little bit into your learning with Python. So that should definitely help with your learning and help with making that learning curve a little less steep. So awesome. Welcome to the course and great to meet you. Let's keep going down the list. Eden, can you come off mute and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Good
Hello.
afternoon. Hello. My name is Aiden. I'm from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I've had a few experience with coding in the past, but I plan on pursuing a career in programming, and I want to improve on my coding skills, and that's why I joined this course. I hope it goes well. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great to see a number of people having some experience with coding already. At some point in the course, we will likely be doing a final project type thing. So maybe it would be awesome if we can split up the people who do have some background in coding and have them work on different teams for the final project. So we'll see how that goes when that time comes. Great. It looks like Vicky, looks like you've already come off mute. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Privilege Eteni. I hold a PhD in economics. So basically, I'm here because I want to learn more in terms of coding. I usually do data analysis, and most of my programs they involve coding. So basically, I'm here to broaden up my knowledge and and improve my skills in that area. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like a great goal, and I think it'll definitely help you in your data analysis. Data science is basically a type. It's a form of like data analysis, right? So yeah, it's a great way to perform those tasks much more easily. Great to meet you. All right, so it looks like we had another A name join. Abraham, do you want to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Okay, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you, thanks.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Abraham, and I am actually a mechanical engineer. Ever since I was in third year student, I have a passion, towards coding and, to do some kind of real projects. So in short, I'm actually learning coding in order to, to widen my knowledge and gain some skills. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction and great to meet you. All right, let's keep going down the list. Fevin, can you come off mute and introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Fevan Saifo. I'm also from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. I have a little bit of coding experience, especially with C++ and a little bit of web dev with PHP and something like that. But I have no experience with Python. But I will really hope to know more and have a little bit experience. I really want to move to data science, and I hope this platform will give me the knowledge that is needed for that. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great that you already have some experience with programming. C++ is a much more difficult language compared to Python, so it should be much easier to learn than C++ was. And yeah, Python's a great language for data science and data analysis. It's basically like Python and R are the typical languages that people use for those use cases. So you're definitely in the right place for that. And great to meet you. All right, Iman, can you come off mute and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Iman Mwepenshibida. I am from South Africa, from Pretoria, currently living in Durban. I have zero experience in coding, but I'm very eager to learn, and I'm hoping to have a sort of a career change. My background is in science. I did analytical chemistry, so I'm hoping to have I don't know how can I explain it? Like to merge coding with science somehow, but I'm very interested in coding. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome, welcome to the course. Yeah, there's definitely many ways to combine coding with sciences. I've seen a lot of studies these days, especially in the more analytical sciences like chemistry and things like that, where people are using coding to build models, things like that, to better understand these types of interactions between particles and atoms and things like that. So I'm sure you'll definitely be able to find ways to combine it with your other background and use that for a sort of career change. So great to meet you and welcome to the course. All right, how about Misa? Can you come off mute and introduce yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, okay, so I'm Misa and I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I just finished my honors year in chartered accounting. I actually studied with Bonga, so we both have experience in Visual Basics. Yeah, I think in the industry that I'm going into, I just want to have the exposure to different codes and stuff, especially in auditing and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's sort of why I'm interested, and I've always enjoyed the concept of coding and thinking in a different way. So yes, that's all for me.
Awesome. Yeah, congratulations on recently completing your honors year. That's awesome. And yeah, I think this will definitely be helpful to you, especially having a little bit of background in Visual Basic. Hopefully that'll make the course a little smoother for you. Awesome. Lawrence, you want to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Lawrence. I'm Ghanaian. Basically, I'm a finance professional. I'm a project finance professional, so I oversee a lot of projects, both infrastructure, sometimes software. And I'm mainly trying to change careers into data science. So I see this course as an opportunity to learn how to use Python in data science. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, we won't necessarily get specifically into how to use Python for data science, but for your final project, that'll be something that you can definitely explore. And that's what my background is in, so I can definitely help answer any questions around that for you. But yeah, you're definitely choosing the right language for exploring data science use cases. So great to meet you and welcome to the course. All right, so how about Leslie?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. My name is Matladi Matlanyani. Well, I'm using my son's account. I had a bit of difficulty trying to sign in. I'm from Maseru, Lesotho, and I work for Standard Bank as a product analyst. I have a bit of experience with SQL, which I use on the job for data manipulation. So like Python has a universal appeal in data science. And as a finance professional, I want to expand my knowledge with Python and enhance my data analytical skills.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds like a great goal, and cool that you already have some SQL experience. SQL is a very different language from a lot of other programming languages in that it's declarative rather than the imperative languages like Python. So you'll definitely notice a number of differences as you learn Python, but I think the knowledge that you already have in SQL will definitely help with learning Python. So that's awesome. And combining them that's basically what I do for work is I combine SQL and Python, and that's basically my job. And then also use tools in AWS. So you're definitely off to a great start for getting into data science type use cases. So great to meet you and welcome to the course.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. So how about Malet?
Did you say Mahalis? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Mahalis Abdul. I'm from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I'm currently I'm a public health professional. My degree with the public health and MSc on again public health. I focus more on data analysis and interpretation. So when I saw this opportunity, I just figured how would I incorporate this with my research or what I do at work. And currently I've been involved with more graphic design and more illustration kind of projects. So I just said, why not give it a try and learn more about it? Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. And yeah, it's, like I mentioned earlier, you can basically tie programming into just about any field. So yeah, I think that'll work out perfectly for you. So great to meet you and welcome to the course. All right, let's see. Looks like we have about 3 people left. So Peace, do you want to go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Peace. I'm from Nigeria. I have a career background in management information systems with basic knowledge of Python and Java inclusive. So I'm so glad to be able to take advantage of this opportunity to kind of refresh and expand my knowledge in Python. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. This will be a great refresher course. And if you already have some background in Java, Python should be a breeze. The first language I learned was Java, and I find it much more difficult compared to Python. So hopefully you'll feel the same way as you go through your refresher of Python. So great to meet you and welcome to the course. All right, let's see. So how about Juan? Can you come off mute and introduce yourself? Juan, are you there? So I don't see him coming off mute, but I just noticed in the chat, he sent me a introduction. So I'll just read his introduction for him. So he said, "Hello, David. I'm super excited to be in the group. My name is Juan, and I am from Ethiopia. Currently, I have one scholarship in the UK, and I will be studying biomedicine in the coming 3 years. My reason to study Python is my goal is to be a computational neuroscientist." That's very awesome. That's something I have definitely thought a lot about doing. And I want to know crucial things from the beginning. Moreover, in the sensitive and technological era, it's good to know the Python language to solve a number of problems. To be honest, I just learned C++ when I studied statistics in Addis Ababa University, and I am totally hopeless in this area. My elder brother is a computer scientist, and he helped me in some steps of coding. So I can say my experience in Python is quite limited. Okay, so you're in a public library, so you can't speak. Totally understandable. Thanks for sending your introduction to me over the chat. That helps a lot. Yeah, like I've said a couple of times so far, C++ is a much more difficult language to learn compared to Python. C-type languages, Java, C, C++, C#, all those, they get very complicated. They're more declarative and strongly typed, whereas Python is sorry, not declarative, they're static and strongly typed, whereas Python is more dynamic and weakly typed, and it supports duck typing. Those types of things it seems like 2 concepts that wouldn't make a huge difference, but they make a massive difference in how to the complexity of learning and coding the language. So I think you'll have a lot better time with Python, and it'll be good that you already have some exposure to C++. So great. Actually, and the last person on the list has already introduced themselves, so I think that's everybody. Cool. So thanks everyone for going through that. That was great to hear about, who you are, where you are, and what you hope to get out of the course. So now for the last bit of the course, let's go ahead and review the syllabus, and then I'll go over what is expected for the first assignment. And the first assignment is really just going to be a proof that you've installed PyCharm and Python, because if you don't have those installed, you're not going to be able to proceed any further in the course. So great, let me share my screen. Okay, cool. So you all should be able to see my screen now. This is the syllabus for term 1, 2022 of the course. Basically just starting out here, it just has my name, my email, and our class days and times. Something you'll notice is that we're going to be at this current time, 1500 GMT through March 12th, and then we're going to transition to 1400 GMT on March 19th. The reason for that is here in the US, we have this thing called daylight savings, basically, where we shift our clocks by an hour. And because of that, the meeting invite I sent you is going to shift the time. And also, if I didn't shift the time of the course, I would be getting up very early for this course. So unfortunately, we have to deal with that for the last couple of weeks of the course, but it'll only be the last couple of weeks with that hour shift. So it shouldn't be a huge deal. Here's the link to our Zoom classroom. And then we have 3 teaching assistants, Gaurav, Vraj, and Zacharias. And Zacharias said that he told me that we can just call him Zach. But yeah, they all have been very helpful so far. So I believe Gaurav and Vraj are, so Gaurav, I believe, is in the US, Vraj is in Canada, and Zach is in Greece. So we have people across a number of different time zones and countries. So whenever you submit an assignment or you have any question whatsoever, please email all 4 of us. This way we can ensure that you're going to get the fastest response possible. Otherwise, we're gonna, if you just email me, then I'll get back to you when I can, but I'm only one person and I still do have, full-time job, family and everything like that. So I may not get back to you as quickly as one of the teaching assistants might be able to get back to you. Try to email all 4 of us whenever you make any assignment submissions or have any questions whatsoever, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So for the course description, this will be an introduction to programming, which will cover a basic introduction to the principles of programming, including algorithms and logic. You'll engage in hands-on programming tasks in the Python programming language and write and test your own code using the approaches that professional programmers use in the field. You'll program with variables, data structures, functions and arguments, lists, loops, and classes. And this will provide a solid foundation for more advanced study, as well as practical skills that you can use immediately. As for course goals, we're going to use programs that are common in an IT workspace. We're going to learn and apply introductory programming skills to solve specific problems. We're going to write and test code in a number of different ways. After completing the course, you should be able to read Python code and get a basic understanding of what the purpose of that program is. You should be able to write Python code to solve specifically defined problems, and you should be able to test and debug your own Python code or others' Python code. So required texts and readings, we have Python notes for professionals. This link is free and open source. So if you just go to the syllabus and click that link, it should bring you straight to the book. But if it doesn't, please let me know. I will also just send this out in an email as an attachment, but this is the book. And in the table with the course schedule, we have things about like what you should be reading. This is an excellent book. There's 800 pages of information. There's examples. There's example code that you can follow along with throughout the book. So lots of awesome information. We're not going to cover the entire book, but you can, if you want to, go above and beyond after the course is over. This will be a great book to continue your study on your own. But yeah, we've got example code here and all that stuff. So that should be pretty helpful to you. But please do read the book. It'll help with your understanding of all the topics. So please follow along with the assigned readings as they are specified in the course schedule, which we'll get to in a moment. Equipment and materials. that are required. You need a computer that either has Windows, Mac OS, or Linux installed, and you need admin privileges for being able to install software. That's basically just so you can install PyCharm and Python as well as related packages down the line. So when it comes to assignments and grading, we'll give an assignment at the end of each lecture. You must complete the assignment and turn them in via email before the following lecture. Otherwise, it'll be considered a failed assignment. We'll provide feedback on the submissions and give a pass-fail grade on each assignment. If you fail the first attempt of the assignment, which please just expect that that's going to happen a lot. If you fail the first attempt of the assignment, no worries at all. You will have an additional week to update the assignment as many times as needed in order to try to get a passing grade on the assignment. Therefore, the final due date of revisions is before the second lecture after the assignment was initially assigned. So you'll have 2 weeks to complete each assignment. Just please note you need to submit it after 1 week of it being assigned in order to be able to, do the revisions. We want to make sure you don't fall behind in the course and that you're actually practicing the things you learn as you learn them, because the longer you wait, the harder it'll be to recall those things. So, please join the lectures at the agreed upon start time every Saturday. Please join muted because, sometimes if you have background noise, we don't want to disrupt the lecture, especially if you're running a little late. And if you have questions or comments you'd like to share with the class, please post them to the chat and I'll do my best to address them in turn. Well, I'll also pause periodically during lectures for you to ask questions between slides. At the end of the course, everyone who's completed the course in full will get a certificate of completion. You have to meet certain criteria though in order to get this certificate of completion, and this is something that I will be tracking throughout the course. You must attend at least 80% of the lectures. If you're unable to attend the lectures in person though, we do have an alternate. I will be uploading every lecture to YouTube after the lecture is complete, and you need to view this lecture in lieu of attendance. But in order for that to count in lieu of attendance, you must post a comment to the YouTube recording within 1 week of the original lecture time, stating 3 things that you learned from the lecture and 2 questions you had on the contents of the lecture. So if you're unable to attend the lectures, totally fine. Just make sure that you're watching the YouTube video and making your comments within a week of the original lecture time. You must also receive a passing grade on 80% of assignments, and you must actively work on a final project and complete a final project presentation at the end of the course. The details of the final project and timelines are still in the works. We recently had some changes to the structure of the course, so I'll talk more about that in a moment here. But basically, for the presentations, it can either be live during one of our final presentation sessions or at the end of the course, or you can record it with audio and submit it via YouTube. Cool. Or not via YouTube. You could send it to me directly and I can upload it for you. That'll work as well. So this is the course schedule. So something I may have mentioned when I first reached out, and Hugh may have mentioned when you first signed up, was that the course would be 6 months. That's actually changed now. We're shortening it to 3 months. So it's going to be primarily the lecture, and we'll have a little bit on, we're going to try to incorporate a final project so that you can get some hands-on experience with all of this, with programming. We'll get to that and we'll talk about that down the line. Don't worry about it for now, but just know that there will be a final project that's not included in the schedule right now. I'll update the syllabus when the time comes and send that out. But so today, all we did is we course and peer introductions, and we're going to talk about software installation. I'll go over that shortly. An optional reading before today was chapter 1, but I sent this out so late, I don't expect anyone to have read chapter 1 already. Next week, we are going to be covering data types, variables, and operators in Python. These are required readings. Please read chapter 1.1 and 1.4, or through 1.4, chapter 2, chapter 9, and chapter 15 before the start of the next lecture. And at that time, assignment 1 will be due. We're going to go over what assignment 1 will be here in a moment. And that's basically just going to be a verification that you've installed everything. So that's generally how each of these boxes work. We have the topic we're going to go over, the required readings. These readings are to be completed before the lecture time starts, and then any assignments due on that day. So assignment 1 would need to be submitted before that lecture. And if it's not, then it'll be automatically counted as a failing grade. If it is and something was wrong with it, then you'll still have another week to make modifications and get a passing grade on that assignment. So week 3, we're going to cover conditionals and data structures part 1. Week 4, we'll cover data structures part 2. Week 5, data structures part 3. Week 6, loops, iterables, and iterators. Week 7, we're going to cover input and output, or IO, and files and folders. In week 8, we'll cover functions. In week 9, we'll cover classes and error handling. Week 10, we'll cover modules and packages. And week 11, we'll cover unit testing. Finally, on week 12 is when we'll have our final project presentations. These will basically be 5-minute presentations for each group. And the final assignment will be due at that time. And then we'll be done with the course after March 26th. So that's the syllabus. I see a couple questions have been posted to the chat. So let's see. All right, first question, which PyCharm should be installed, community or professional? So yeah, you said you installed the community one. That's perfect. Please do install community. If you install professional, it's going to ask you for a license key or to pay for a license. We don't want to have to pay for anything in this course. They have a perfectly good free version. At work, I have never had to buy the professional version of PyCharm. So please do install the community edition. That's the one you want. If you've already installed professional, just uninstall it and go back to the instructions and install the community edition. Otherwise, you won't be able to use PyCharm. So great question. Thanks for asking. Let's see. Yeah, so I will attach today's introduction documents and video. I'll upload that to YouTube after this and send it out to the whole distribution list for the course. Let's see. So the name of the book is Python Notes for Professionals. And this is the one I'll be sending this out just as an attachment. I'll send it out as a PDF document to all of you after this meeting. To Fidelis, I didn't know that there was an education edition of Python or of PyCharm. As long as it's free for you to use without having to enter a license key or pay for anything, that's totally fine. If you want to pay for something, you totally can. I'm not going to stop you from doing it. Just know that there is a free option. So, I like to keep things free as much as possible. And as for the YouTube channel name, it will be, I think it's just PPiAI. I'll send links to the YouTube videos though, and then you'll be able to subscribe to that YouTube channel and everything as you get those links. Great. Yeah, glad to hear that the education edition is free. Cool. So I'm not seeing any other questions about the syllabus posted to the chat. So let me go ahead and talk about the assignment. So basically, for the assignment this week, all of you should have already installed Python and PyCharm. What I want to see now is just a verification that you have installed these pieces of software. So the way we're going to do that is you are going to open PyCharm on your computer. So here's PyCharm for me. You may need to find it somewhere else on your computer, but so that is opening now. Let's see. Oops. I want to go, sorry, didn't want this one. Open the wrong one. I wanted to show you just the window. So once you open PyCharm, you should see something like this. And you'll see projects if you've created any over here. I have a number of projects, but this will probably be empty for you. So what you'll want to do first thing when you come into PyCharm is you'll want to go to this button here, create new project. We'll select that. And we're going to want to select pure Python over here. And you can give your project a name over here. So I'll just do PPiAI term 1 2022 demo. And then you'll expand the project interpreter here. You'll see I have new virtual env environment selected. So you'll want to select new environment using virtual env. You can use pipenv if you want. Virtual env just works well with PyCharm. Both of them are fine though. Then your location, you can ignore that. The base interpreter, this is where you'll want to select the version of Python that you've installed. As you can see here, I have a few different versions of Python installed. I have Python 2.7, Python 3.9, and Python 3.7.3. Whatever version you have installed, it just must be a 3. something. We aren't going to use Python 2.7. There are differences between Python 2 and Python 3, make sure you have a 3 dot something. One of my choice versions, if you really want me to give you one, is 3.6.8. It's just what I've used the most. But you can, clearly I have Python 3.9, which I believe is the latest installed, so you can use that as well. Just make sure you have a 3 dot something installed. You'll select that interpreter from this dropdown, and then all you need to do is click create down here. Once you do that, you'll get a window that pops up that looks like this. And this is your empty Python project, basically. Any files that you add would end up here. This is our virtual environment. Don't worry about what that virtual environment is right now. Basically, what virtual environments are, though, for those curious, is that it's like a way you can install dependencies for your project separate from other project dependencies. So say you have a specific version requirement for a package that you've installed for one project, but a different version requirement for that same package for a different project. You can keep those logically separate by using virtual environments. That's why we use them. Don't worry too much about them right now. Just they're great to use is what it really comes down to. So once you've opened PyCharm, you'll want to come down to the bottom here, and you should see this little thing here where it says Python console. So select the Python console, and this should open up this REPL environment here. REPL stands for read, evaluate, print, loop. So what that basically means is anything I enter here, if I just enter the number 1 and hit enter, it'll read it, evaluate it, print it back to me, and then it'll loop back and we'll get these arrows again. So if I wanted to print something to the console, I can say like print hello world, hit enter, and it prints out hello world here. What I want for the assignment is I want you to open up PyCharm, open up the Python console, and then you can enter things here if you want. You don't need to, though. As long as you see these 3 green arrows, you're going to be good to go. And I want you to take a screenshot of all of this. You can take like just a picture with your phone of your computer, or you can actually take a screenshot like using the functionality built into your computer, whichever one works. But I just want to see that you have PyCharm open and you have the Python console opened within PyCharm, and within that console you're seeing these 3 green arrows here. So just like this would be perfectly fine. This is exactly what I'm looking for, because if you don't see the 3 arrows, that means you don't have Python installed. And it'll give you an error here saying that there's no like interpreter found or something like that if you don't have Python properly installed or you don't have PyCharm properly set up. So that's about it for the assignment. So someone's asking if we can start with the opening of the app again. Sure, we can do that. So I'll close out of this. Bring this over here. I'll just close out of that. So open PyCharm. You see it says PyCharm CE, that stands for Python Community Edition. It opens this window. What you'll see, this will all be empty over here for your first one, unless you've used PyCharm before. So you'll come to create new project. You'll select pure Python from the menu over here, give it a name. So just like any name works. Expand the project interpreter. Make sure you have new environment using selected, and select virtual env. And for the base interpreter, you'll want to find the installation of Python that you have on your computer and select that. Ideally, PyCharm will be able to find that for you automatically, so hopefully that won't be an issue. But if you do have any issues with it, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself and all of the teaching assistants. Again, please reach out to all 4 of us so that we can get back to you most quickly. And then you'll click create here. I'm not going to create another random project because otherwise I'll have to go in and delete it. I'm just going to click cancel here, and I'll open up my the project that I already created. So after you create a new project, it'll open up something like this. You can just close out of this tip of the day. The tip of the day is just giving you tips for how to better use PyCharm. Basically, if you want to read through them, go for it, but they're not necessary. So we close that, and then the Python console likely won't be opened for your new project, so it'll look like this right when you start. So you'll come down to the bottom here and select. So the very bottom down here, you'll select Python console. And then you should see like some output like this at the top. It'll say Python console, and you should see these 3 arrows in here. These 3 arrows are really what you want to see, and take a screenshot of this entire window or the entire page. So what I'm looking for is PyCharm open with the Python console also open, and these 3 arrows in the Python console That's what I need to see to verify that you have Python and PyCharm installed. So once you take that screenshot or that picture, just email it to me. You could also, just email it to me, to myself and the 3 teaching assistants, and we will let you know if we see any issues with it. Otherwise, we'll just give you the passing grade and you'll be all set for next week. Cool. So that's really it for the first assignment. It's a pretty easy one, but an absolutely necessary one, because you won't be able to do any of the assignments without making sure that Python and PyCharm are properly installed. You don't necessarily need to use PyCharm for everything in the course, because PyCharm is just it's an IDE, which stands for an integrated development environment. What it does is it makes development a lot easier than it would be otherwise. You could use a text editor if you really want, but you need to be able to write Python code. And for the purposes of this course, so you can follow along with my demos and everything like that, just install PyCharm. Just know that it's in the future, it's not absolutely necessary if for whatever reason you decide you don't like it throughout the course. So the first assignment, again, all I need is you to open up PyCharm, open up the Python console, and take a screenshot of this. So just take a picture. So take a picture of basically this screen here. I just want to see PyCharm is installed, and these 3, and the Python console is open with these 3 arrows. That's all I need for the assignment. Hopefully that helps clarify things. Yeah, and we'll go over the. I'll post this video to YouTube. So if you want to see the process I followed to open this, I've done it twice now. So if you want to follow it again in the YouTube video, you can. You'll be able to watch it, multiple times, as much as you need once it's uploaded to YouTube. So yeah, basically just take a picture of this screen here and send it to me and the teaching assistants, and that's all you need to do for the first assignment. So if anything, and Abraham, if it's still not clear, if you could clarify exactly what's not clear, that would be great. Or if you have any specific questions, please reach out. And Justice, yeah, I will send the YouTube link to all of you after I've uploaded it to YouTube. It'll take an hour or 2 for me to get everything uploaded. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that was clarified, Abraham. Thanks for the question. But yeah, so I will upload this to YouTube, and I will send it to all of you once it is uploaded, and then you'll be able to watch this demo again as many times as you need, which will hopefully be very helpful for completing the assignment. And if you have any questions or issues along the way, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself and the teaching assistants. All of our emails are present in the syllabus, and all of these emails are also all of these individuals have been included on the email communications I've sent out so far, so you can look for their email addresses there as well. Cool. So I think that's it for today. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to email myself, Gaurav, Raj, and Zach, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible. Great. So thanks everybody for joining today. I'm looking forward to the course going forward, and I will talk to you all next Saturday at the same time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and talk to you next week. Bye.